Second Cup, brought to you by the Nickel Plate. Sit, sip, savor, and shop.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
Let's go.
Glad to have you with us. I got a special guest this morning. This is DJ Milk.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about why DJ Milk is joining me. Ed Dranch is gone, so I had to substitute him somehow.
Yeah, there you go.
Super glad you could be here with us today.
Super, my pleasure.
Second Cup, of course, sponsored by the Nickel Cup. Drop us a line if you're here this morning. We're going to be talking about the Bills coming up. You don't like the Bills, do you, DJ?
I love the Bills. You know, I DJ at the 50-yard line, so definitely check me at any home game. Those are my guys.
You excited for tonight's game?
I am. I'm very excited. I wanted to actually take the trip, but ended up staying home for Ellicottville Fall Fest, which is also an incredible thing in our region.
Fun.
So, yeah.
Oh, my God. Was Saturday just like bumping there?
It was absolutely amazing.
I
mean,
bet.
the fall colors, great people, incredible entertainment, incredible food.
Yeah. I bet it was unbelievable. Super cool. And then how about yesterday? It was a little rainy.
Yesterday was a little bit rainy. I actually had a chill day at the house. I had to just relaxing.
Love that. We took a little drive. We were actually in Cuba Lake for the weekend and went down, checked that out, kind of hung out, my husband and I and some friends, and like looked at all the fall colors.
Yeah,
loved it.
This is the season.
This is the time to do it.
You know,
exactly.
This is a great season.
Hey, good morning to everybody who's with us. Let us know if you're excited for the Bills game tonight and what your predictions are. Drop them in the comments. Looks like Linda's already all set to watch the Bills, and she's got her Sabres outfit on.
Okay, Linda.
Connie says, game day. Good morning, Cuppies, what everybody who watches Second Cup calls themselves.
Cuppies. Okay.
Morning,
What up, Cuppies?
What up, Cuppies? All right, so DJ Milk is here with me this morning, and we're going to talk about this talent competition
Yes.
that is coming up. Now, this is for First Night Buffalo, so we know that that's like more towards New Year's Eve, right?
It is actually on New Year's Eve.
So it's time to think about this now, though, because we've got this talent competition. Tell me all about it.
All right. So the talent competition is for young people, anybody from the ages of like 5 to 17. We're asking for video submissions, about 60 to 90 seconds. Whatever you think your talent might be, we want to see it. We've been doing it for years, and it's just an absolutely incredible way to include the community and young people in our big first night celebration that we do online.
Okay, 5 to 17 years old.
Yes.
You've been looking at some of these videos over the course of the past few years.
I have.
Talk to me about the talent that we see in that age group in Western New York.
I will tell you, you will see all sorts of things. We've had,
I bet.
We've had dancing, we've had singing, magic, we've had martial arts, we've had young people doing Rubik's Cubes, we've had just families kind of having a good time and just literally just showing what they feel like the individual talents of their kids are. So it's been all over the map. And it has been absolutely inspiring to see just the amount of fun the young people are having doing the videos, as well as the incredible talent that
Okay, so we've got some categories here: vocal, instrumental, dance, and open skills.
Yes.
Open skills sounds really interesting to me.
Yeah, so that's the one where you start ending up with, some of the Rubik's Cube elements.
That's so cool.
We also have had young people do acting and reenact a scene from one of their favorite movies, that kind of stuff. So the open format, again, that's where you just don't want to put young people in a box.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody has a talent. And so if you think you have something that you want to share with us that you think is incredible and amazing, I don't want you to hesitate to share it.
Cindy, wondering if there's a category for the 60-ish age group.
Unfortunately, we don't have anything for
not
the 60s.
This year, Cindy. Yeah. But here's the thing. Hey, buddy.
Hey, guys.
Aaron's here.
Welcome.
Well, nice to see you. Nice to see you.
So, but nothing for that age group right now. But so if we have kids who are in this age group, okay, so 2 categories, 5 to 11 and then 12 to 17.
Correct.
So, and that makes sense to me too, because we're keeping these little kids.
Yeah,
together.
I mean, right. You figure, how much time have you had to perfect your talent?
Right.
We don't want to put you necessarily up against somebody who's had, 17 years of honing in their
We've got
craft.
a 5-year-old dancer and a 17-year-old dancer.
Yeah, big difference. Big difference.
And we get the dancers too. We get a lot of we get groups of dancers, right, who have been choreographing their thing and they're all together, and then we'll get young people who are just at home in their living room showing us what skills they have on the dancing floor. So
I love this.
yeah, I honestly, I'm always impressed. And like I said, most importantly, I find that the young people in the videos seem like they're just having so much fun being able to express themselves. And I think that's really important.
That's a super fun thing to do, like with your kids, to get them like excited about, you know, and like when we talk about New Year's Eve too, kids are always gearing up for that holiday because they get to stay up late.
Sure.
And, you know, it's so exciting. So there are prizes connected with this too.
Yeah, there's cash prizes. So if you enter to win, guess what? You could have the opportunity to win a pretty decent cash prize. And I think the parents also get to celebrate, you know, that's the prize as well, right? Your parents are just celebrating their young people. The last year's winner, the video, you could just hear how proud the mom was throughout the video as the young person was singing. I mean, just incredible talent. And you just hear the enthusiasm in most of the videos, the enthusiasm of the parents. You have a handful of parents who are quiet in the background and let their kid do their thing. But generally, as you can hear the cheerleaders.
Oh, that's cool.
I love that.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, parents are always pushing their kids to practice because a lot of times they don't. And ours has to practice 20 minutes a day with his instrument.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, sometimes we argue for 30 minutes. And I'm like, you could have been done by now. Just look it up. So the parents
I'm sure there's no other parents who've been through that.
The parents deserve a lot of the credit as well.
Sometimes, you know, practicing and to all the young people and parents, practicing can be difficult. And sometimes you're not necessarily sure where the reward can be. Well, it can be right here with Independent Health, right? We got a cash prize waiting for the winner. So all those people out there who are debating whether they want to practice today or tomorrow, I don't know. We might be able to get some cold hard cash right in your pocket.
There you go. And that's, that'll get them going.
Do parents get a cut? I'm like,
I mean, I think
Aaron, you got to work that deal out separately.
I would suggest that kids, if you do win, maybe do something a little nice for your parents. How about that? Throw that out there.
I'm an ice cap.
Yeah. There you go.
Exactly. Okay, so if kids want to get involved and families want to get involved, because Cuppies, I know maybe you don't have kids right now, but you've got grandkids, you've got nieces and nephews. So like, let's pass this along so we get some kids involved.
Yeah, I would say, you know, the open entry and entries have already begun. So you can go to firstnightbuffalo.org/talent to enter. And so start entering now. And then our entries will end on November 3rd. So you have until November 3rd to get your entries in. We get a good amount of entries, and we want to make sure that we have time to watch them all and judge them all fairly.
Super exciting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you know who the judges are this year or part of the judging panel?
Do I know them personally?
You do.
Do I see them every morning?
The two people who are sitting in this seat. And so we'll see.
Ed is one of them.
He'll be the Simon. Just kidding. And I'll be the Paula Abdul.
Yeah. Some parents might want to see him after the show. He might want to get some security. Yeah.
No, we're looking forward to it. You've done it before too.
I've done it before. We have a great I feel like they give us a matrix of it on how to judge and like kind of like asking us questions, which I think really makes it incredibly fair and also make sure that we take into consideration all the different elements of what the young person is presenting. So I love that element of it. And and it's private, so nobody else knows what I voted.
That's cool.
There you go.
That's cool.
There's no Simons. There's nobody doing it. It's just like everybody just submits your thing. And then they tally it all up and they let us know who the winner is.
And you see a ton of talent around here because all my kids did music and they're in like all county. And when you go there, I'm always just blown away at how good these kids are with their instruments. And like you said, there's a lot of talent in Western New York. And if you have kids in that age bracket, you see it. Yeah. And it's great that you're going to reward something.
Yeah, I think once again, it's just an opportunity for us to be able to get the talent and the community involved with what is a great first night celebration with the young people. I love DJing and playing the music. I run into young people and parents who are like, oh, my little kid was watching you on first night. The other talent that comes in for first night is absolutely Class A, just really, really good. So all in all, I think it just makes for an incredible first night celebration.
Looks like Caitlin's already thinking about getting her daughter involved. She's got a good video of her doing karaoke. All right, Caitlin, get her together and have her sing a song and then send it into the competition. Melly she joins us every day wondering, is this DJ Milk? Sure is.
Yeah, it is DJ Milk. It's me.
So we're glad to have you with us this morning. Kelly says her 17-year-old is talent shopping, so finding what she's good at.
Okay.
So funny.
Find something, make a video, and send it in.
Yeah, you never know. And talent shopping, sometimes you don't realize that you have a talent. Maybe even cooking is your talent, or there's something just that you do that you know that you do better than other people. That's your talent, and we want to see it.
Perfect.
You know,
DJ Milk, thanks for joining us this
My
morning.
pleasure. Thank
Appreciate
you so much.
it.
You guys are amazing. Thank you, everybody. Love you all out there. Let's go.
All right, get those talent videos in. We put all that information into the link that John posted right there, and we'll make sure that we keep letting people know about it. Thank you, DJ Milk.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to bring in our next guest too, who, guess what? You guys know who he is. You see him here every day. Ed Ranch, we've got live this morning in Tampa. Let me plug right in so I'm actually able to hear my little son there. Hey, buddy, good morning to you. Do you have a talent?
Do I have what, Katie?
A talent, Edward.
A talent. Yes. Do you know what it is?
What is it?
Is it working?
It's reading people very, very well. And my impressions are spot on.
Very, very well.
Oh.
Did you hear what Aaron said? He asked if your talent was working.
My God, let me tell you, this has been non-stop. Do you see the bags under my eyes? Here, let me get a little bit closer so that you can actually see them. So yeah, here in Tampa, and this is unbelievable damage in pockets of neighborhoods. You know, I want to be perfectly clear when you're talking about the damage here in Tampa, it's kind of widespread. Like, I'm in the city of Tampa right now, the airport, you know, the city right behind me. It's not bad in the city. Like, I got here and I couldn't even believe that they needed me here, because when I was staying in downtown Tampa, everything was kind of like back to normal. But you go out in Hillsborough County, in the more rural suburban areas outside of Tampa, outside of the city, there are still so many neighborhoods that are just flooded out. I took an airboat for the first time ever in my life touring the damage, and it was unbelievable to see these streets, these suburban streets just full of feet of water. And we're not just talking like 1 or 2 feet. We're talking like 6 feet of water, like taller than I am. And the airboat needed to be used to rescue people. So they made like 300 rescues in a matter of 48 hours. The Hillsborough County Sheriff, Chad Chronister, took me out, and he was totally accommodating, super cool. His staff, his crew did a great job. But God, when you see the damage, that was Saturday. And then Sunday, to be out on Anna Maria Island talking with people who, you know, use this beach community as investment properties, use it as Airbnbs, some people who live there year round, they are devastated. That place took a double whammy hit from Helene and from Milton.
Yeah.
And they are in dire straits this morning.
Okay, so you saw people actually have to get rescued with that airboat. That is so wild. Those things can go across like anything.
Oh my God, it was huge. And, you know, I had never been on an airboat before. Like, I'm a, you know, little Jewish boy from Long Island. Like, I've never done that before. So I'm like, I had no idea what to expect. And, you know, in Buffalo, we have snowstorms, you know, we have flooding, we have obviously the tornadoes from the summer, but never a hurricane. So I really had no idea what to expect. And getting down there, you know, it just kind of like, it's like riding a bike. It just kicks in. You just go and cover the damage, and the spirit of people, the human spirit, it's just really second nature. And it really is beautiful to see how people come together in trying times.
Yeah.
But it seems like everything's starting to get back to normal, except again in these pockets of neighborhoods.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, talk about those neighborhoods that saw the most damage. Like, what are they thinking? Like, what are they up against? Are they like, oh my God, we've got months left to go here?
Well, so the guy who you heard from this morning, I spoke to him yesterday. His name was Michael Vicari. He is a property owner and lives in Tampa. His house really wasn't affected. He has power back on, from what I was told, but he's losing like $40,000 a month, because not only is he putting the money out to fix everything, he's also losing the rental income from all of his properties. I mean, and that one house that you saw where the house blew right off, that was his. The house where everything was flooded out and it's down to the studs, that was his. I mean, you can't use any of these properties. So I'm like, okay, well, do you stay? Do you go? What are you going to do in the future? Like, why would you hold on to this knowing that this is a possibility with this weather? You know, like, why would you want to have that kind of risk? And he's like, well, you know, at this point, like, it's making money, but is it, you know, what's the value at this point? You know, if you're trying to sell. So I don't know. It's a really interesting catch-22.
Joyce is saying St. Petersburg was even worse than Tampa. Connie says you're doing a great job. Julie's wondering if you've seen any alligators show up in surprise places.
Okay, well, listen to this. So in that rural community where I was in, it was called Valrico. It's just, I think it's east of Tampa in Hillsborough County. The flooded roads, the state attorney general who was there kind of touring things around with the sheriff told me that some of the water could still be electrified there and that you have no idea what's even in the water. And she told me snakes and alligators could feasibly be in there. And like panic set in. And I'm like, oh my God. But people stayed, Katie. And you know, when you see them and the airboat is passing by their house in their front yard and they're just waving to you, like you realize how desperate this is, how desperate of a situation this is. We saw people walking and wading through like the initial part of where the floodwater started on the street. It kind of sloped down to a low-lying area, but like to even put yourself at risk like that is mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's so scary.
Yeah, it was just insane. Just the craziest thing I've ever seen. Well, that's not true, but it was up there.
Yeah. Well, we've seen a lot of different kinds of storm damage in this kind of job. Like like you mentioned, the tornadoes, the blizzard. I mean, totally different. Hey, by the way, you're in Florida right now. Aaron's joining us on Second Cup too, because guess what it's doing here this morning?
Raining.
And
close.
What
comes after rain?
What rhymes with whoa?
No.
Yes, already. So we were going to bring up the map too, because we're literally already, Ed, seeing snow in some areas. Can you believe it?
Where?
There's the radar right now, and we have snow in Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Allegheny counties, southern Wyoming County, from Cherry Creek to Ellicottville to Franklinville, Lime Lake, Machias, along 16, the 219, Route 62. You're starting to see that snow really blossom across the higher hilltops south of Buffalo this morning. No, Aaron. Yes, Melly. Have it on the screen right there. Snow starting to show up. I don't know if, Johnny, this might be asking a lot, but get the Ellicottville, the Holiday Valley picture. I don't know if maybe they can see a few flakes over the higher elevations. But yeah, Edward, you're leaving the sunshine. And you asked about that too. Like, why would people stay? Because you have kind of a short memory with this. Tampa was without power for a little bit of time, and now you, like you said, you didn't even realize when you landed that a hurricane went through. And for so many days, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
And they've been rebuilding forever, and that trend's going to continue. I think there will always be people who want to be along the Gulf Coast. There is Holiday Valley, and I think you can see some flakes, Katie.
Well, you can definitely see something. I mean, it's hard to tell right now because it could be rain, right? But like it is a little bit slower.
It's like a big drop hitting.
Yeah. So like there we go. A couple of flakes flying right now. Everybody is not too happy about the S word, the 4-letter S word that we're saying this morning.
Julie's feeling flaky.
Linda liked this. That was good, Ed. What comes after whoa? No.
Yeah. I'm just not ready for it. I mean, it's hot down here. And when you're standing outside in the blazing heat, and you're wearing pants and a cotton shirt, you're sweating right through it. And there are so many people here in Tampa who are even still without power. This has been like 5 or 6 days, and they feasibly won't have power until Wednesday. So as it gets hotter and hotter, people are just suffering. So,
I think a lot too in stuff like that where you lose your power. I think a lot too about the food loss.
The food is the big one.
And everything that's in people's freezers, and a lot of people have like a deep freezer, and it's
you've got the freezer in the garage, and then you've got one in the house, and now they're both all that food is spoiled.
Yeah. Were you seeing any issues at getting people supplies that they needed, or that was pretty much taken care of?
I mean, gas. I don't know. Like, we don't see everything like a big picture. Like, we see bits and pieces, but when you're out and you're on the ground, like, you see exactly the situation. So like gas, for instance, people are not able to get gas. So like, you can't drive around. And if you are driving around, you're risking like losing your gas, waiting in hours long lines to even get to the gas pump. You're limited to like $20 and you're paying premium for it. So what they did was set up these like big FEMA sites where they've got all these tankers coming in. And I mean, the line for this site, they had like hundreds of thousands of gallons of gas, but you could get 10 gallons of gas for, whether it's in your canisters or in your car, but the lines were miles and miles long. So you're waiting hours and hours to even get that gas.
Right.
It's nuts. And like, I mentioned, like, if you don't see it in like Tampa proper, but like you go outside of the city of Tampa and it is horrible. And it's so bad for these people. We talk about gas freezers and we talk about all the food. It doesn't even matter. That stuff has been wiped out. It's not even the power that's the problem. Like the flooding from Helene in some cases just took everything with it. So that's already been destroyed. It was like a double.
So like on top of your food in your freezer going bad because there's no power, it doesn't matter because the freezer's already
been underwater too. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Connie's surprised there's still no gas. When we were talking about that last week, remember, and they were like keeping the tanks of gas like on the East Coast, knowing that they'd have to move them across, but you're not going to do that when there's a huge storm.
I'll tell you the story. When I covered Hurricane Fran in Wrightsville, it was 96, and we left North Carolina to drive back, and we were on E, and it was just pitch black, no gas anywhere. And we finally got from North Carolina into South Carolina, and the lights were on, and all we were doing is being quiet and praying that we did not run out of gas. In the middle of a state you're not familiar with, where they have bigger things to do than, there's a couple of TV people stranded on the side of the road. Right. So that just like all the infrastructure just takes some time. They're very good at it now. Like you said, they have the people in place. You probably saw a ton of crews, Edward, down there just waiting to get into these places, but you got to work from the outside in. And those places along the coast that, they have to kind of rebuild everything.
Yeah.
So the coolest thing is that when I was talking to Governor DeSantis on Saturday afternoon, I asked him point blank, I'm like, well, have your conversations been with the president? And he was totally positive about it. And, they have opened up 100% of reimbursement for cities, towns, and people. So they're getting things moving. And there's every time a tanker comes in, they're getting a police escort to the gas station or to that FEMA site. So they're really trying to help the people. I mean, it's really something to see. But then, of course, I had to ask him the off-topic question. I'm like, well, what have your conversations been with former President Trump and Vice President Harris? Like, the candidates. I wanted to know, like, are they responding to this? And he's like, oh, yeah, President Trump, blah, 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 like, we're really good friends and, we're in constant communication about this. And then he just kind of went off topic on a tangent. And I'm like, okay, well, respectfully, Governor, what about the Vice President? And he's like, okay, see you later. And he just walked away. I'm like, oh, gosh, I'm trying to be fair here. You know what I mean? And
there you go.
No matter what side you're on, though, they did a very good job of evacuating and getting people out and having people ready to go, no matter what side you're on. And there were fatalities. There always will be when a major hurricane hits a city. But they had tropical storm force winds from Jacksonville to Miami. So almost the entire state of Florida felt the impact of this, plus the tornado outbreak.
Right.
And
oh, my gosh.
They were ready to go. I mean, we had a blizzard with a lot more fatalities and fewer people. So, I mean, they planned it, and now they're trying to get back on their feet. And so it's nice to see Ed, asking the questions that we're all wondering, but Ed's got the guts to do it. So I always give him credit.
Good job, Ed.
No one else asked the questions. I couldn't believe it.
All right, Edward, we're going to let you go. Have a safe flight back. We'll see you back here Wednesday morning, right?
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. I'll see you then.
Be safe, big guy.
Okay, we'll see you then.
We'll see you.
Bye, buddy. Bye. Wanted to just give us a couple minutes to talk about the Bills game tonight.
Oh, right here on Channel 7.
And somebody else brought up Asheville, because Asheville, North Carolina, is still doing really badly after Hurricane Helene this was.
You did a story on them.
So I talked last week, my friend's sister, welcome to Western New York, is the Bills backer president in the area. So these are some of the pictures that they've been seeing down there. Get this. They were looking last week for an LED screen to be able to watch the game, get people together. This has kind of become the place. This is A, where they're watching the Bills game, but B, this has been their donation drop off, that place you saw in the background there. And so they found a screen. Labatt flew in or got down some beer for them.
Of course they did. Yeah.
Of course they did. So she says tonight they're all coming together to watch the Monday Night Football game. She's going to be able to hand people a cold Labatt as they come in.
And you need this distraction.
Yes.
They've been dealing with this for weeks. We remember October Storm was, 18 years ago, 2006. Crazy. It was that long ago. But if you remember, a lot of people were without power for 4 to 8, almost 10 days in some spots. That Bills game was on that Sunday, and it was a nice distraction. So that is fantastic that they're able to have that.
Yeah, so I wanted to share that with you guys because that's a big deal for them. Like, they basically just need that little morale boost, you know?
The Bills and the Sabres, I remember watching during that time,
Yeah,
listening to the Sabres. But you know, at the sports events, and you can kind of not think about all the devastation around you and just get with your friends and have a nice time.
exactly. She even said they told people, like, listen, if you want to come and have a couple cocktails, you can just
and you're not a Bills fan?
You can pitch a tent here, they said, like,
and
just
nice.
stay. Yeah, they're just like, let's just have a good time together.
And see the best fans on the planet going crazy.
All right, very good, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning. Boy, we had a packed show.
We did. That was awesome.
Very nice. Hey, big game tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, hopefully discussing a Bills victory.
It will be a Bills victory.
All right, go Bills. We'll see you tomorrow.